All right. So yesterday I actually recorded a video right after the Leafs lost against Anaheim, and I was pretty calm about it for some reason, right? So I recorded a video. It was about 10-ish minutes long, and I was like, okay, things are gonna be fine. And today I had a pretty bad day, so I was gonna come back and edit the video and be like, all right, just put it up and maybe calm some Leaf fans down. But no, I had a bad day today, and now I'm gonna come here and complain because usually I want to come back and think about the Leafs and be like, oh yeah, that's a good team. They're going to be able to win the Stanley Cup this year. But honestly, right now, I can't see it. I came back and I wasn't comforted by thinking of the Leafs. I just felt worse. Ain't that kind of crazy? Like, a team with Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, John Tavares, Morgan Riley, etc., is bad? It don't make sense. And here's the thing: it's not like those guys have been like horrible or anything. Sure, you want them to be better. The luck hasn't really been on their side, except for Tavares, who's been really good so far this season. But there I am being positive again. No, they've got to produce. Matthews and Marner especially. Those two are supposed to be like the dynamic duo. Once they're on the ice together, they're destroyers of worlds. You shouldn't be able to touch them. But right now, they're getting smothered. Like Marner yesterday was absolutely horrible. Um, and I'm not gonna accuse him of not trying, because one thing you can never accuse Marner of is not putting his 100% in, and that's why he went and had his tantrum down the hallway like a child, like an actual child. But still, whatever. Shows he's trying at least. But then in the bottom six, it's been absolutely horrendous. I mean, all these guys who are supposed to be like good defensive players, Aston Reese, Obe Kubel, freaking Yarncroke, they've been just letting up goals like left and right, no problem. And they can't seem to find their own spots yet. Keith keeps on switching them around because like they literally can't settle in anywhere. Like Yarncroke got brought in. He's like, oh, he can play center or left wing. He's played at both. I think he's even played right wing. He's played literally everywhere, and they just can't find a spot for him. He's signed for 4 years too, by the way. So you kind of want to make sure that you get him going, because that's a pretty big contract right there for a third liner, especially in the Leafs with all the big contracts, which are not producing right now, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah, I definitely mentioned that because they're not producing right now. Anyways, yeah, the bottom six has really, really got to step it up, because, they're not even being asked to score any goals or anything like that. They're just being asked to play defensively like they did, like, their whole careers. Like, pretty much every other thing we were talking about, oh, these guys hit. They will beat you down, and they will not let any goals, and you won't even notice them except for the hits that they take. That's not much to ask for, really. No goals, nothing like that. But I still can't do it. And freaking Engvall, he's been all over the place. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's really, really bad. He's been out of the lineup because of that. And, that's not good for a player who's signed for 2 years at $2.25 million. So really, really got to work on that. Malgin, I don't even know if he can. He was really good in the preseason. He had a goal in his first game. I think he scored another one. I don't even remember when. But he's got to solidify his spot, because it would be really, really good if, the Leafs could actually have some kind of scoring down there, because all those defensive players who aren't actually playing defense can't do anything. Now, the defensive core. Now, Morgan Riley is obviously the big guy there. He gets points. I mean, that's expected. He's one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. But this guy cannot play defense for crap, bro. He is so bad at it. It's insane. Like, how? That's your number one guy. This guy is assistant captain, longest tenured Leaf. He's a leader. Why is he doing so bad defensively? And he's playing with TJ Brody too, like the steadiest of the steady. Oh my God, the steadiest of the steady defensemen. Like, it's been handed to you on a silver platter, and you still can't do it. Honestly, though, I'm not that worried about Riley. He usually figures it out partway through the season. Brody's been good-ish. Giordano, as long as he doesn't take like 50 penalties a game, he's been okay. And that's mostly because he's just slow, so he just can't catch up to people these days. But, Other than that, he's been okay. Um, Muzzin was horrid while he was in his, and I really think that he's got to get moved at some point. But apparently, teams don't want him because he gets injured too much. But I don't really care if you have to give up like a small asset, like I don't know, freaking like just some random prospect. Do it because this guy's been bad, and he could still be an asset to another team. Maybe he just doesn't work on the Leafs anymore. He could still be an asset to another team because he's not that old, and he's been a very good defenseman before, but for some reason right now, he just can't do it. Maybe it's injuries, but move him away, let him figure it out somewhere else, because right now we don't have the time for him to figure it out here. And his partner, Justin Hall, has been almost as bad. Well, a lot of people may say he's worse because his mistakes are much more glaring. He likes giving his tape to tape passes are never to the Leafs; they're always to the other team. I can't even count how many goals, how many giveaways of his have directly led to a goal. Sandin has been so meh, it's insane. Like, come on. You held out for what? Like, you lost a negotiation too. But whatever. Anyways, it's like he's trying to punish the Leafs right now. He's like, I'm a nice guy. I didn't want to take advantage, but here I am now, and I'm not good. Victor Mete, for some reason, has been the only defenseman that I can't complain about because he's been just non-noticeable, which is pretty good for a defenseman, especially your seventh defenseman. And he's come in and done a pretty good job. But for some reason, he's not sitting. He's the one sitting over Justin Hall. Come on, Keith, you gotta figure that out there because your boner for Hall is starting to grow. It's probably grown twice around the world at this point because, come on, seriously. It's not that hard. If I coach the Leafs for a game, I could tell you right now that I probably get every other thing wrong, but the one thing that I would get right is that I take Justin Hall out of the lineup for literally anyone. And Philip Kral, 2 games, he wasn't exactly great, but what the hell do you expect, right? And one thing I can tell you for sure is that the Leafs sorely miss Timothy Liljegren, a sophomore. Their season right now, their defensive core is riding on a sophomore defenseman who didn't even play all of last season. Yes, he was very, very good, and very underrated too. But your whole defensive core should not be riding on that guy. But hopefully he's going to be coming back during this homestand. So maybe that'll help. Maybe he can play with Riley and he can move Brody around to shore up the defense because Hall definitely is a babysitter because Keefe is not going to take him out. Let's be honest here. And Giordano can play anywhere and be pretty solid. As long as he stays at the box once again. And on goalie, there isn't much to say about Matt Murray. He had 1 game. Glove side look atrocious, but other than that, can't judge him just yet. Samsonov has been so good, and the Leafs have never given him a chance to just win a game where he hasn't had to work an insane amount. Even in his losses, you can never blame him because his goals save above expected is always positive. I don't remember a game where it's been negative just yet. There might be one, but I'm not sure. And his save percentage keeps on dipping, but that's not his fault. That's just because he gets shelled every single game and there's nothing he can do. He does swim a bit, but that's just the type of goalie he is. Come on, your defense should be there to help you out sometimes. And then Shalgren, he hasn't been great. He hasn't even been good, but third string goalie, and the defense in front of him has been horrid. So I don't expect too much from him. But honestly, the whole team is just in shambles right now. All the people saying fire Keefe and fire Dubas, wrong. That's not the issue. Team on paper is good. Keefe has shown that he can elevate this team to the best that they can be. And he is not, and we know that he's the type of coach that fits this team. For just whatever reason, players are not clicking right now. It's just not working. They've really got to figure it out, and it's not that you need outside personnel because this team, by all accounts, should be good enough to be, dare I say, the Stanley Cup favorite. But for whatever reason, they just can't do it. They can't play up to their potential. And they really got to figure that out because it's starting to get a bit concerning. Sure, they started off last season bad, but I feel like this season is even worse because for the most part they started healthy, and also like what Matthews had like his wrist surgery last season. Tavares, no, I think Tavares was fine, but Tavares this year has been really good. I don't know if I mentioned that, but he has been really good. This season, though, they're all coming out just completely fresh, and the only one that seems to be consistently good is John Tavares, which is a good sign, but at the same time, he's like only third best of that core four. Marner and Matthews have really got to step it up. Nylander has been there and not there sometimes, touch and go, but it's he's been playing with Tavares, so that's probably helped him out a bit because once again Tavares has been electric, but other than that, everyone else has just got to figure something out because the only two players that I've seen consistently playing good are Tavares and Kerfoot. And Kerfoot's been moving just like all around the lineup because Keefe is just trying to find a spot where he can elevate the team. And for whatever reason, wherever he plays, that line seems to play good that game, which is a good thing. Good on Kerfoot. But other than that, the only few players are, once again, Kerfoot, Tavares, Samsonov maybe, and Mete doesn't even count. He's barely played. Giordano, maybe. Everyone else has been just subpar, and they've really got to step it up because I think everyone is tired of seeing losses. And like I said, I had a bad day today. If I had a game, if there was a Leafs game, I would still watch it even even though I know it's probably going to end badly. But I want to be able to come back to a Leafs, come back from a hard day, watch the Leafs, and end up being good. I go to sleep happy because the Leafs won. But right now, it's just not happening. And every time I think about them, my day just gets worse. And let's not keep it that way. Please, figure something out. It doesn't even have to be a trade. I don't want it to be a trade because I think the pieces are all there. They just got to figure something out in their heads because right now it's just not working. All right, yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening to this. Oh my God, why does this always get so long? Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Leafs Town, and I will see you all next time.